In this video, I will show you how to know how much power is needed to run your computer off solar power or UPS, or just calculate how much it will cost you off the grid. In the end, I will also talk about how to lower the power usage of your computer. As for the monitors, I have two 1440p 27-inch monitors, so I calculated their power usage. The newer gaming monitor in 100% brightness was taking about 37 watts. 80% brightness was like taking 33 watts, 50% 25 watts, 25% 19 watts, and the lowest brightness at 0% it was taking 13 watts. The old monitor I have was taking 100% brightness, it was taking 53 watts, 80% was taking 48 watts, was taking 41 watts. 25% was taking 36 watt and 0% was taking 32 watt. So normally I'm going to use my new monitor with 100% brightness, so it will take about 37 watts. Now the computer is idling. I have not set anything to be that optimized. It's running all the bullshit from Nvidia, Meta VR, and Megasync, Xbox gaming services. So it's not that well optimized system. Parsec, running the wallpaper engine, running basic one tab on Google tab. So with these settings, it's taking about 93 watts right now. So if we try to play a normal 8th generation game, the system is running RTX 4070 Ryzen 7 5700X 3D. So it's getting 150 FPS, and the GPU is showing 195 watt of power usage. The CPU is showing 45 watts of power usage, and if we see in the meter, is showing total power draw of 300 watts from the system. Now if I am going to try to lower this and cap the frame rate at 120 and turn on DLSS quality to lower the power draw of the system. Now it's showing 112, 111, 110 watts of power draw. 110, about 110, 111 watts of power draw from in the graphic card. 43 watts on the CPU, 44, and on the meter 210 watts. So the total power draw is lower to 210 watts, 211 watts, 210 watts. This is now the power draw. So it lost about 90 watts of power usage just by lowering the FPS to 120 FPS and turning on DLSS. Now if I want to lower the power usage a bit more, I can lower the FPS to 60 watts, keep the DLSS. Now you can see it's taking about 45 watts, only 46 watts of power usage from the GPU and 40 watts of power usage from the CPU. And let me beat them up. Now I can see 132 watts from the wall. So 132 watts from the wall. So we have essentially half the power usage from the wall just by locking the frame rate to 60 FPS and setting it to DLSS quality. Alright, now let me turn this game off. Modern title, like let me try Silent Hill 2 because that's a Unreal Engine 5 game and uses a lot of modern features. Now if I'm running an Unreal Engine 5 game and the power usage is about 155 watts from the GPU and 50 watts from the CPU, getting about 100 FPS with DLSS and ray tracing on, taking about 267 watts from the wall. This is because this game is not very CPU intensive, so the CPU load is very medium here. Now cutscene is the game are locked to 30 FPS. So you can see the power draw has lowered to 80 watts, 37 watts, The CPU 140 watts on the wall. Now the cutscene at 30 fps. Now if we try to do that ourselves, so we get almost the same result: 60 watts, 57 watts, 40 watts, 38 watts, 130 watts on the wall outlet. But I don't think anyone will like to play this like this if they have access to higher frame rate, and I don't think anyone want to lock the frame rate if you are running a VRR display. So like this, 99 frames, 90 frames, taking about 253 watts. Now this was actual gameplay. Now in an extreme situation where the CPU and the GPU will be pushed 100%, which is not actually the case, but this is the amount of power you actually need to have to run your computer off solar or even on the grid when you are calculating your bills. GPU stressed, and we're gonna run a CPU multi-core Cinebench render at the same time. Now it's showing the CPU is taking about 80 watts and the GPU is taking about 190 watts. It's taking about 335 watts of power from the wall. So basically the three most important parts of a computer that determine the total power draw mostly are the GPU, the CPU, and the power supply. Obviously all other parts like the motherboard and hard drives and USB things installed do count, but they are of minimum difference. So in CPU, if you look at the AMD 9800X3D, compare it to the Core i9 latest models, it's vastly more power efficient. And looking in the GPU, the current 4070 series is more efficient than the 7700 series. But in the previous generation, the 6700 XT was more power efficient than the RTX 3070, and the RTX 3060 was more power hungry than the RX 6600. It's not related to the manufacturer, it is related to the actual architecture of that generation of the product from the manufacturer. The A770 was a very power hungry GPU, and the Intel B580 is bit improved, but still comparatively still is the worst in power efficiency. So this is how it actually looks on the solar inverter or your UPS, whatever you have. So it's getting about 600 watts of the sun, and it's outputting about 620 to the power in the house, and it's actually discharging the batteries with it, because the batteries are not that low power, so it's discharging it slowly, also using the sun, also doing the output. It's not using from the wall actually, but when I was gaming it was using the wall because the sun was down at that time. I can get about 8 hours of usage of the sun in summer. In winters I can get about 4 hours of usage, 4 or 5 hours from the sun. So do like, subscribe, and comment in this video. There was a lot of misconceptions I saw online about this topic, so I wanted to make this video.